Tim, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us inside the ropes. 2.5 years with the Winnipeg Jets, but there's no hockey talk today. It's all golf. Are you a huge golf fan?
I really enjoy it, and now a lot of times on Saturdays, Sundays, afternoons, that's sort of the sport that I watch. I find it really relaxing and enjoy it, and my wife's getting into it, so we're doing that. So yeah, I am a big golf fan. Not very good at it, but a big fan.
So what's your handicap? Let's get right into it here.
Truthfully, probably a 15. So
I've played with you.
So you should know that I should probably be about an 18 or 19. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's going the other way.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
What got you into the game of golf, Chevy?
I started pretty late. I didn't start till like grade 9 or grade 10, and like most people in the prairies that is late. All my buddies were golfing, and of course you play hockey in the winter time, and everyone golfs in the summer, and so decided to take it up and get out there and enjoy the competitiveness and play with your buddies and I talking to you earlier, I think there's a lot of similar comparisons between goaltending and golf, where if you let in a bad goal or you make a bad shot, you got to be able to regain that focus and make the next shot or make that next save.
Is that more important maybe as a goaltender than a forward or defenseman, just being able to erase the past and maybe take that onto the golf course?
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I think so. I really believe that because, it is such a big mental thing, is being able to focus on that next play, the next opportunity. And if you're certainly thinking about something negative, most athletes don't play their best that way.
Let's go back down memory lane before we get to your time here in Winnipeg. Obviously, your years with the Detroit Red Wings, and tell us about some of the golf stories there and some of the times that you really remember with those Red Wing teammates on the links.
Well, I remember golfing with a few guys that were really good golfers. Greg Stephan was a guy that played a lot of golf, and this sort of is an old school way of keeping in shape. He said, "What do you do to train in the off season?" He said, "Well, I'd walk 36 holes on a golf course." So that is old school. And I remember Joey Kosher, good Saskatchewan boy, being a really, really good golfer. And one thing though, I spent only one summer in the city where I played hockey, and it was in Detroit. And I remember I could have played a charity event 4 times a week, and I played probably 2 or 3, and it wasn't good for me because, like, when you think about those events, all you do is you eat and you drink, and I had the body type that wasn't really ripped, so it was like, okay, I can't stay in the city anymore, but certainly had a lot of fun doing it.
Steve Yzerman was the captain of the Red Wings during your playing time in Detroit. Tell me a bit about Stevie Y on the course.
Stevie started late also, but when he took it up, I think with anything in his life, he became very, very passionate and practiced religiously at it. And I think now, like, he's a pretty solid golfer. I'm not sure, how much he gets out there with, obviously being the GM, but yeah, he was a guy that did everything he possibly could to become a good golfer because he is so competitive. So, kudos for him for starting late and becoming a low handicapper.
One guy that does still play a lot of golf that you and I both know is Mike Sillinger.
Yeah, I like, silly, whenever I talk about him, he makes me smile. He always has great stories, and he's a really good golfer. And I don't know if anybody's ever golfed Mike Sillinger. He never shuts up though. Like, even in his backswing, he's still talking to you and still could hit the ball 300 yards. But he's certainly a guy that you go out there and you have a lot of fun with, and he's not shy to put a few bucks on the golf course either.
Do you have a favorite golf course or golf trip that you've had a chance to go on in your career?
I remember early in Detroit, we had a few days off, and we were obviously playing in LA, and we decided to we had 3 days in Palm Springs. I got to be able to play the PGA West course, which was pretty cool, beautiful course. And then they had the Skins games on there for the last, for a number of years. So it was neat watching the Skins game on TV and sort of remembering some of the holes, that these professionals are playing.
So from your time in Detroit, you come to Winnipeg, where you spent more time here in the winter than the off season, as you alluded to earlier on. But what were some of those golf memories like with some of the Winnipeg Jets of 1.0?
It was pretty neat in the start of the season. I remember playing at Corey Oaks before the season started, and played with a guy, Russ Romanuk, who was a really good golfer, and he gave me one of the best tips I think for golf. Was he said, whenever you get up to your green and your ball's on there, make sure you take a total lap around the hole, and it'll take 4 strokes off your score. And that's pretty good advice, and I still try to do that today and pass it on to my wife or to my kids. And he was a pretty smooth golfer. And I remember Dave Manson out on the course, and he can hit the ball a ton, like a lot of hockey players can. But it seemed like the more liquid he got into him, the better he golfed. I don't know what, for some unknown reason.
It's interesting when you watch professional athletes that love the game of golf. And I know when you follow social media right now, one of those guys would be Teemu Selanne. Did you see that as a young hockey player here as well? The golf that's now continued on to his post-hockey career?
I didn't know a lot that he was a big golfer, but it doesn't surprise me again, though, that like a lot of these hockey players are so competitive and they have great hands, and they can, obviously with the ability to take slap shots, that they can just crush the ball. So it doesn't surprise me that he's a big time golfer. And like I said, you have the summer off and you got to do something with it, and it's such a great sport to do that.
Let's go through some rapid fire here, and it can be more than a 1 or 2 word answer. Best golfer that you've ever played with?
I would have to say, other than one of the pro-ams, I would have to say Joey Kosher. I remember playing with him earlier in Detroit, and he was a guy that was looking at the yardage. Was it 150 or 155? What do I hit here? And drawing and fading the ball. And I was so new to golf, and that's way above over my head. So he'd probably be the best guy. Worst golfer you've ever played with? Jacques Demers, easily. Really? I remember him teeing up, I think, on the first hole, and he hit his drive and it went straight sideways and hit the garbage can. And like, that's next to impossible to do. And he had a swing a lot like Charles Barkley with the big hitch in it. So it wasn't very pretty. It certainly made me feel better. Charles Barkley's game starting to improve, though. I heard that he's been taking lessons from so many different people, and he golfs a lot. So you would hope to think that the amount of time that he spends into that, he'd be getting better. But I like the fact that he goes out there and has fun and enjoys himself. If someone's looking for Tim Cheveldae to play on their celebrity team or a foursome, and you're to help out their club, are you the guy with the big driver? Are you a good player on the fairway? Are you a soft hands guy around the green, or are you the $1 million putter? I'm the athletic supporter. I'm really good at patting the other guys on the back. Great shot, supporting them. I would probably be the guy that maybe, 8 iron, probably it. So I can get streaky with my putter, and then as you get older with age or stuff like that, it's the driver doesn't go as far as it used to. Where haven't you played golf that if you had the opportunity, you'd jump at it in a heartbeat? I would think Pebble Beach. I sort of call that sort of the Yankee Stadium or the Montreal Forum or the old Boston Garden of golf course. I think it's the pinnacle and place that you want to play around. So if you were playing at Pebble, do you have somebody particular that you'd want to play with? Peyton Manning, for some reason, like he's obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks, but just a sense of humor, like you see him on doing commercials or you see him on Saturday Night Live, and he would just be a guy that you would obviously have great stories. You get to play with one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history, and you'd have a lot of fun. I think that's probably the most important thing. I like playing with people that don't take the game real seriously, that you can have a lot of laughs with. We talked earlier on about sitting back on a Saturday, Sunday and watching golf on television. PGA Tour has so many stars right now, and boy, the game is exciting to watch. Who are you enjoying watching right now when you have a chance to do it? For the majors, I like Koepka, but he's sort of lost a little bit of value for me for the fact that he seems like he tries really hard for the majors, which I understand. That's what you want to do on your resume is win those, but doesn't compete as quite as hard on the other courses. But Connor's the Canadian, like he's had a great year, and I know like watching on Saturday and Sundays, a lot of times he's in the top 10 and has an opportunity to win, and he's represented himself well at the majors. So it's nice seeing somebody new and young and being Canadian that you can sort of get behind somebody wearing the maple leaf. Chevy, it's always fun to catch up. Appreciate the visit, talking some golf with us here today, and
hopefully we'll have a chance to hit the links soon together again.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So seeing those soft hands of yours, Bunzy.
You got it. Thanks, Chevy.
All right. Thank you.